Hi, everybody. It is my privilege to walk you through some super cool functionality of SimpliTaught. So first off, what is SimpliTaught? It's a content curation and collaboration ecosystem that leverages digital assets to engage students with targeted resources based on their learning preferences. It's one centralized platform that caters to all student essentials. Now, in addition to that, it is an online bookstore that provides students with affordable and accessible digital textbooks. And that's what we're going to be focused on today. The online bookstore that provides students with affordable and accessible digital textbooks. With over 1.5 million books on the platform, students can access and purchase a wide selection of textbooks from top publishers by simply creating an account. So let's start with the account creation. We're going to go to SimpliTaught.com, and then we're going to click on sign up, and then we're going to click on student, and we're going to fill out some basic information. I already have an account, and in fact, I'm not even going to use my account. I'm going to use a different account so that I can actually model what I want to share with you today. Boom, so I'm in. Okay, once I'm in, you'll see this banner across the top, and one of the icons is books. And so we are going to click on the books tab. Once we're in the books tab, we have a number of ways in which to locate the book that we're going to need for our class and to purchase it. So we see some featured subjects, and then we see it broken down even further. And we also have a search bar that we can use. So let's assume that we want to purchase a math book. We click on mathematics. We see some subfields here on the left. And then let's assume that we want to purchase a geometry book. So we have over 990 choices. And let's assume that our particular course is going to use, let's see which one of these books looks interesting. Ideals, varieties, and differential geometry. Let's assume it's this one. Let's assume it's differential geometry, the 4th edition, and publisher Springer Nation. So that's the book that your particular course is using. So we click the Buy tab. Once we click the Buy tab, it pulls up the digital text, and it gives us some details. We can even get into the table of contents if that's what we choose to do, but that's for another time. So let's assume this is the book. We can purchase that book for $29.99. Or we can rent that book. And so let's assume that we want to save a few dollars, and we are going to rent that book for 120 days because the semester ends in maybe 100 days, 110 days. So we click on the 120 choice and we click checkout. Once we do that, we can see that we're not buying the book outright. For 120 days, we're renting it for $18. And we have choices. We have 3 different ways that we could actually purchase this book. We could use a card, a credit or debit card, pretty self-explanatory. We could even save that card for future purchases. We could use a QR code in a Cash app. And so if I were to click this and click pay, it would pull up a QR code and we could pay with it that way. Or, and this is really the focus of this training, we could use our grant money. And so let's assume that we qualified for a grant and that we have funds left to use. And in this case, we have $360 of unused grant money. So that's our method. I just clicked on it, and I am going to, for 120 days and $18, rent this book using my grant money. I just did just that. Now, we've made it really easy for you to understand what's going on with both your grant money and the books that you've purchased. So there's different icons up here, and this particular icon brings you to this dashboard for grant programs. So here you can see some of the different grant programs that are out there, and you were awarded $500 in this example. And of that $500, we've only consumed 158 bucks. So we still have $342 left to use. Now, what have we purchased with that? Well, we purchased cloud computing and we bought it outright. We purchased a guidebook for the United States coins. We bought that one outright. We rented an algebra book. We rented a calculus book, and notice we rented it a little bit longer. Maybe this calculus course is divided over 2 different semesters, or maybe it was a winter course and then it's spring term and, the first chunk of your summer term. But in any event, we have 180 days left. And then here you see the geometry book, and it looks like we've purchased it twice. And in fact, we have, because I did this in a different example. So we have this book as well. One-stop shopping right here summarizes it all for you. Now, let's look at some other functionality. Let's assume that we couldn't find the book that we wanted. And let's assume that I know the name of the book, and the book is called Maximizing My Learning. I made that up. That could be a cool title of the book. Okay, Maximizing My Learning. Up, look, there's no results. If I hit request a book, it's going to pull up this. If I know the ISBN number, I can enter it. Let's assume that it was on my book list. So I have both the name and the ISBN number. Let's assume the author. Okay, I can go with Anderson. Let's assume it was the 4th edition. And let's assume the publisher was Pearson. Okay, so through my book purchase list that my professor gave me, I've entered the information and now I've requested it. We will find this material and we will get back to you with next steps. Let's assume that I do know the ISBN number. And this is going to be an ISBN number for my business law class. Oh, and look what we have. It found the book for me. I can click on that book, and then once again, it's going to give me the details. It's going to give me my choices. This one, I have 3 choices. I could purchase it for half a year, or rent it. I could rent it for a whole year, or I could buy it outright. So that's this search bar functionality. So to recap, SimpliTaught.com, create your student account, go to the books tab, find the subject that you want to purchase the book, maybe even a subfield. If you already have all the information, you can shortcut it and just enter the ISBN number here. Click on the book that you want to buy. Click on how long you want to purchase it for. Then click on how you want to pay for it. Now, I'm actually not going to go through and pay for this particular book. And then click purchase. Once you've done that, you can come back to your dashboard and you can see what's going on with your account. How much funds, how much have been consumed, how much remain. The other really cool thing, and that'll be a training for another time, is once you have your digital text, you can literally highlight and take notes right there on the digital text. So that's also some super cool functionality. All right. Thank you for your time. Have a blast accessing your materials, maybe even saving some dollars. Be a smart consumer. Remember, over 1.5 million books powered by VitalSource on the site. And if not, you can always request and we will go find it for you. So thank you for your time. Happy learning.